Well, hi, this short video is going to give you an overview of the new KPCL budget worksheet version 1.33. So if we just double click here, we'll open this version up. Now what you're going to see to start with is this new splash screen. It's really advising you to back up the original of this workbook, so you've got an original copy should you ever need to get this data back again. This display screen doesn't quite work yet. You can click it, so it doesn't do anything. So it's just about saving this workbook before you put any information into it, so there is an original on your file somewhere that you can back up, because all this information over on the right hand side you'll see in a few moments is user defined, so you can change it around. Starts as normal, name in here, and the date over there, which will populate other areas of the sheet. My name, and we'll just put there 7 July 2010. Okay, and that populates the other areas in the sheet. You put your name here, and here is still the same income type. Choose what type of income you are talking about. Wages, salary are the main ones. Wages, let's put a number in there, 2345. We can tab through here. Now we've got different periods here: weekly, fortnightly, monthly, 6 monthly, annually. And what you can do now is simply hit the F key and you'll get fortnightly, and the same over here, before, after, IR23 taxation or no tax at all. So let's say this is before taxation, hit a B, and basically it does the sums for you. When you have a special tax code, we need to find out what this amount here is gross. Well, we've got it gross here because this is before tax, but let's say, for example, that was an after-tax figure, and consequently we don't have the gross. Now if we've got an 18% tax rate for the special tax code over here, we can't really apply the tax to a net amount here, which is what we're looking at. So we need to look over and work out what the gross will be. So our net weekly is 1173. You see our gross income here is 81,484. So if we do this, 81,484, and change that to annual, and change that to before tax, then there's our weekly amount worked out the same. However, we've now got a gross figure here. So to apply this 18% tax rate, we simply change this here to the IR23 code. IR23BS gives you an extra $100 a week there. Okay, so you can just put each person in their own separate box here, so you don't confuse the tax issues, and we're talking about net figures in this sheet. Go down here, this is where you can get your current mortgages, and again you can just start typing in there and the particular banks will come to the fore. Otherwise, if you're a mouse person, you can go down here and click whichever bank you like. The term in there, again, floating 6 months, 1 year, and again you can simply click in there and go floating or 6 months, or 6M comes up 6 months. So there's a few shortcut keys there, and this last cell here you can put anything you like in there. It's not restricted to the drop down box. Expiry date's always good to have in there. Interest rate as well in there, so let's say on 6.3%, and current balance 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 will do the trick. In fact, I think that was 7. So you've got a lot of money owing there. And this is just out to the right here. This is something new in the sheet now, where you can change the tax rates and the thresholds. So we're quite fortunate. The new tax rates coming up, the thresholds aren't changing, but the tax rates are. So this 12.5, I think, drops down to about 10 or 10.5, and 21 goes to 17.5, 33 goes down to 30, and there will be no 38 cents in the dollar. So it's going to be good. 38 goes to 33, and 33 goes down to 30. But I'll send you out an email when it's time to update those bits. In here is where you put the top up for any of your investment properties, goes in here, and any other HPs or term loans you might have that you're paying off that aren't mortgages. You shouldn't have many to go in there. I made an area for a lot, but you shouldn't have many going in there. So let's say, for example, we've got a top up going to National Bank, and the payment is $345 a month, and don't worry about the current balance there unless you've got it. That will actually deposit itself if you follow my arrow over here. you'll find that that amount has plonked itself quite nicely over here. There's the 345 that we had on this side of the sheet. And most of you will know that. This is for the benefit of the new people. Scrolling back up to the top here, now we go down the expenses side. Okay, so what this is going to do, it's going to take into account our income there. It's going to take off the expenses as we add them up. The only expense there is that 345 that we've already put in, and it will highlight either a surplus or a deficit here. Now going down here, every code, every expense needs a code, and we've got 3 here. Not applicable: bills, revolving credit, and housekeeping, which are reflected up here. The bills will be blue, the revolving credit will be purple, obviously, or pink, and housekeeping yellow. Now, bills we don't use very much, but some people have a bills account set up, so that's what this is for. It helps to add up those particular items each week, month, or whatever, so you can see how much you're actually spending on there. So we're going to start with the revolving credit. I just hit the R, and that coloured itself in. Let's say the amount there is 2564, and that's a month, and there it works out the rest for us. Rent is not applicable, so we just hit the N there and just keep hitting the enter key until we come to one that we need to do. Rates will be a revolving credit, etc. So we'll bang rates in there at $253, and we'll say that's a quarter, and on we go down like that, just basically itemizing, giving each account, each item an account number, and you see those are adding up here individually up the top. And I just want to do this one here before I move on. This one here we'll term as housekeeping because it's groceries. It's weekly expenditure like groceries and fuel, personal cash. Those are the things you need to tag housekeeping because we want to know how much this costs us each week in those particular items. Groceries, let's say you're spending $300 per week there, and that's really all we need to do. And again, down here you've got these different periods of time, and again it's just a matter of hitting the first key of the word, and basically it'll come up: fortnightly, weekly, monthly. There we are. So, and I think there's a 6 monthly there as well. 6 monthly, there you go. So that speeds up the input of data into the sheet. So that'll give us, tell us what our weekly surplus is once we've gone through all these items down here. Believe me, there's a lot of bits and pieces. You're not going to fill in every spot. And as I say, when you find things that you're not going to put anything in, just put an NA there. That helps the system pick up those keystrokes, because if I go down here and put an R, nothing happens. Well, that's an ER, by the way. An R, nothing happens. See, that it must be consecutive squares, so you need to be putting that NA, then you put the R, and it'll work exactly as it's supposed to. Alright, so that's that first sheet. Going on to the next sheet here. This is a printable version. When you've finished your budget, all these fields will be populated, and this is the one that you'll want to put onto your fridge. But print this out, put it on your fridge, and it's a good place to keep an eye on what you allocated for each particular item. If you're going to go shopping and get some clothes or something, just have a brief look. What did I allow for myself? You might have allowed $1,000 a year, which is, on average $80, $90 a month or something. So just be aware of your budget, especially groceries and items like that don't have any set monthly amount like an insurance policy, and know how much that's going to cost. The last sheet here is the 12-month budget.